Hi everyone, this was Ginny, the newly crowned senior poster winner with our naloxone poster, which is terrific, so congratulations Ginny.
Thank you.
And Paul, with our final summary of APSAD Conference 2017. Ginny, what took your interest today?
Again, there's so many things. I actually got up early, managed to get in here by 8 because Margaret Hamilton was holding a breakfast meeting, and that was really, really interesting. It was looking at international policy, and it was Margaret Hamilton, who is a civil society representative so basically a representative of all the non-governmental organisations at the UN's Commission on Narcotic Drugs, sorry, just remembering the lingo. So she was speaking with Chris Killick-Moran, who is the Department of Health representative for the CND, and also Carrie Fowley and Penelope Hill, who both have also attended the UNGAS and Committee on Narcotic Drugs. So it's really interesting just kind of having a look at what happens on an international scale in terms of drug policy and Australia's place into that, and something I didn't know heaps about, the kind of inner workings of it, and we starting to see this kind of consultative process, I guess. They wanted to come and do this at the conference to consult with the wider professional body. So that was really exciting, and I hope that continues.
Yeah, and that sort of international policy work is something that only a really small proportion of people in our sector ever really get to do. So it's great to broaden the knowledge base out about that and just how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that took your fancy?
I'm trying to think. So many things.
All right. Well, I'll talk while you're reviewing the program.
Yes.
This morning on to an opioid treatment session, and I guess the main draw card for that was a couple of presentations on the new buprenorphine depot preparations, and at least there's a real sort of sense of excitement that this represents a bit of a leap forward in terms of opioid treatment, particularly opioid substitution treatment, and the opportunity to get away from people having to turn up to a dispenser every day for their daily dose, rather than have a weekly dose or a monthly dose with an injection. It just represents a big advance for our sector, and hopefully we'll be able to get to roll those out pretty soon.
Yeah, and I missed that. I did go to that workshop as well, but I missed that last presentation because I ran out to listen to the results of the plebiscite vote. So I'm very pleased with the right vote that happened, so that was good. I really enjoyed Dr. Bryony Lawrence's keynote, which was on are abuse deterrent formulations effective in reducing opioid-related harms. That was really interesting, and I guess as any good researcher might say, the general thing seemed to be yes, but, and then several things for us to think about in terms of the longer term picture. It's not necessarily reducing opioid use per se, but yes, we are seeing that the tamper-proof kind of presentations of opioids are meaning that people aren't misusing them in a way which is generally going to be more harmful for them.
And I know when they did come out, when the OxyContin reformulation came out, there was a lot of concern about is this going to increase harm, and I guess what Bryony showed is that it didn't increase harm, that it was effective in reducing harm amongst people who inject pharmaceutical opioids, but it has had no effect at a population level. So as a targeted intervention, even though it had operated at a population level, it's been quite effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I went to a session this afternoon on online counselling, just looking at Turning Point's counselling online services, and it was a good discussion there about the opportunities that online interventions provide in terms of accessibility and providing, in many respects, like a one-stop intervention for people. But then there are obviously some limitations on that in terms of how much you can realistically achieve in a single intervention. But there's clear benefits in terms of making treatment more accessible, like the anonymity and having it text-based. That makes it more appealing for people to make that initial contact. And if online counsellors are able to operate in a way that leaves people with a positive experience, and this is the case for any AOD interventions, but if people go away from that contact having a positive experience, thinking I could do that again, or I can follow up and maybe go, it's like see a face-to-face counsellor or contact a treatment service, then that's a really positive thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really enjoyed that session too. And then this afternoon we had the late breaking session where people gave really small kind of synopsis of their research, and our very own Shannon Bell spoke about the Youth Catalyst trial that we ran last year, and just the success that we've had with that. So that was really good.
Yeah, and so now that it's been announced that it's been funded by the Department of Health and Human Services, that's a great outcome.
So that's a 2-year trial, isn't it? So he announced that at the conference, which is amazing. We're really happy about that.
Good stuff. Yeah. All right.
And that's it. I think we're exhausted now from our conferencing.
Any overall impressions, any emerging themes for you?
Look, this was the first APSAD conference I've ever been to. I really enjoyed it. I met heaps of people. I feel like I met, had some really good conversations. Obviously, I'm very chuffed about my poster winning. So, and I should say thank you to Mayor as well, who helped me with that.
Yep.
But yeah, I think really for me the theme was that we're a community. Margaret Hamilton talked about this being her tribe, and I feel like it really is a tribe that we sometimes get kind of, sometimes we get too focused on the day-to-day and worrying about, small little things, but when we actually get the opportunity to come together, we have these really kind of grand visions, and I really think that we can achieve amazing things. So it was a pleasure to be here.
I think for me too, like the real message for me is that we've had lots of achievement. There's lots of progress happening in lots of areas at different speeds, like different. On the spectrum of no action to radical change, that the different issues within our sector are progressing along at different rates. But there are some major things that are happening. Like the Richmond MSIC, that's a huge huge thing, and with Hep C treatment, there are real advances, but there's also a bucket load of work for us to do. And perhaps the most enduring message is what was delivered by Marianne Jauncey yesterday. It's up to all of us to keep pushing the envelope, forcing open the windows of opportunity, and to be ready to act when opportunities for change come along.
Yeah, and another thing I heard this morning was the phrase, leave no one behind, and I think that's something that really resonates for us in this sector. Obviously, we work with a lot of groups of marginalised people, and whatever we do, whatever advances we make, we need to make sure that we do it in a way that's respectful and inclusive of all.
Yeah, and consumer participation at all levels, whether it's treatment, research, policy. That's obviously recruitment. There's big steps to be made by our sector.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So thanks for paying attention, and we'll see you again next year. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.